David, how long have you been homeless?
I've been homeless for about 2 years now.
And what caused you to become homeless?
What caused me to become homeless was my addiction.
What are you addicted to?
The substance abuse that I've chosen is mostly fentanyl, and I've also abused Adderall
So for these
and Ritalin.
Ritalin, for these fentanyl pills, what's in those pills that you smoke?
What I know it as is heroin, and hydrocodone.
And how much those pills cost?
Well, they used to cost about $20 a pill, and now they're about $5 a pill.
When were they $20?
They were $20 a pill before they became fentanyl, or I'm not sure if they were fentanyl at the time or not. On the streets, you never know what you're getting in a pill. You can have a random stamp on a random pill that somebody could have just picked up somebody's random prescription and made a coating on it of their own, and it appeared to be a pharmaceutical, and it wasn't, and it could be poison and it could kill you.
Right. So my understanding after speaking to doing research and police telling me what it is, where you're talking about the $20 pills, those were the real hydrocodones or the real Percocets, or they were real prescription pills.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why they cost $20, because they were authentic, right? They're from the doctors.
Right.
And these $5 pills that came on the market about 5 years ago, they started flooding the market. Those are counterfeit fentanyls, so they're not real fentanyl, and they throw all kind of junk in them. It's
Right.
dangerous. But you're right about the dosage. The dosage is off. There's pills that are very, very potent. They're not making them at a certain standard. They're just putting them together, and sometimes there's bad pills, right, that have the power of 20 pills all in one. So that's kind of dangerous, right?
It's
Does that scare you a little bit that you don't know what you're smoking sometimes?
For me, because I'm an addict and I've become aware of who I am and my triggers, it doesn't scare me, because at my worst in my addiction was I would shoot up and I wouldn't care about the consequence. I would think about how if I did that shot and I put that shot in my veins, that I didn't care if it killed me. And I would always push it to the limit to try and reach that next high. With this, it's minor compared to that. Its abuse and substance is a lot less. From my viewpoint, to get rid of the needle in addiction is a big step and a big deal. As much as these fentanyl pills are dangerous, which they're very dangerous, because even the fentanyl can rub off on your skin, and I heard that can cause somebody to overdose. To someone who has a tolerance to it, it's almost like it doesn't affect you anymore, but it's still it's still a need and a necessity. And it becomes its worst when you don't have that pill, and the anxiety from this withdrawal is the worst anxiety I've ever felt. It's like you want to jump and crawl out of your skin. And whenever you mix that addiction with Ritalin and Adderall, and then you don't have Ritalin and Adderall, or if you only have Ritalin and Adderall, it gives you like a really uncomfortable feeling. And it's hard to sit still. You begin to sweat, you begin to breathe heavy, your heart slows down, you can go into respiratory failure, you can catch a lung disease, respiratory disease, especially since it's smoke and that's airborne. So we understand with the coronavirus right now, even putting that in the air, and if somebody alters that somehow, or somebody has coronavirus and they're smoking a pill and they're blowing out, then they're spreading that virus through, I would imagine, a fentanyl cloud or a cloud of smoke. And I'm not sure if that's possible, but you never know with today and what goes on today.
What would you say is the biggest difference between H and fentanyl?
That's probably why I enjoy doing it, because there is no difference for me in fentanyl and H.
No difference at all. Just
No.
the same feeling, the same high, same withdrawals.
It's actually a better feeling because heroin is worse, I feel like. I didn't like having to shoot up heroin at all. I don't like having to smoke these pills every day. But I guess you can say it's a cop-out, one for the other. And that's what ends up happening in this addiction. You'll always find yourself copping out for either the greater or for either the lesser.
Have you ever tried treatment?
Well, I've tried treatment a few times, but I haven't really been able to contain any results from treatment because of my negativity and my issues in my mind and my thought process, behavioral health, and it just becomes pressing and more pressing every time you stop and then start again. You just get a little more addicted. It's not a comfortable feeling. Sometimes I personally sell out to my addiction, and treatment is the last thing on my mind, and I might say it's the first thing on my mind.
So like right below the surface for you, there's like some mental health issues,
There's-
some emotional issues that kind of trigger you maybe?
Yes, and then that's what keeps me involved. Is those hidden things that I don't want to deal with or express in my life or allow my family to see. And it's even worse because rather than dealing with my problems, now my family sees an addiction and all they see in me is a chemical. They see a substance. It's like they pick up a bottle of Tide detergent and that's what you are to your family. Is nothing more than a chemical. And that hurts us. It hurts me to think that way. And then when my mind isn't right and I'm belligerent, it's no good. It's no good.
So speaking of family, have they tried to help you? Are they supportive? Do they reach out to you?
That's my number one support is my family. And I've never lost that support. At the same time, as a grown adult, I have to make my own choice, and I always have to take care of that on my own. Though they support me, they've never supported me in my addiction, or in my drug habits, or in my treatment, or in enabling me. And that's because when I tell them what I'm doing, I don't tell them that I'm doing a substance. I don't tell them that I'm going out to abuse that substance. I had reached out one time to my family and told them. And that was because I was scared of where I was at, and I wanted them to know so I wouldn't wake up dead one day.
David, ultimately, what's your future look like?
Dim, not a lot of hope. Mostly a minimum wage job if I'm lucky. maybe a full-time job that I can hold for 5+ years would be great to me. But in my near future, I really can't see past 2 weeks, either going forward or backwards.
Talking to you these 10 minutes, you seem very self-aware. You know where you're at. You know where your past is at. You know why you're here. I think you're a smart man that's just stuck. You're currently stuck for whatever reason, mental health, emotional, family stuff that happened to you as a kid, but you can overcome it if you work towards it. So although you say you have a dim outlook for your future, it doesn't have to be that way. Take ownership of where you're at and where you want to be. Maybe a full-time job, minimum wage isn't so bad.
No.
Because what's the
It'd be stability.
Yeah, exactly. It's stability. It helps you get on the right path and get off the streets and get your mind right. So it's not so dim if you want it to be not so dim. Ultimately, you make that choice though. Not your family, not the police, not society, but you, right? So I'm gonna say, David, thank you very much for talking to me. I really appreciate you opening up and creating awareness out there for the community, so that other young people that are going through emotional, mental health issues, they can look into that before it gets worse and ultimately end up out here in the streets, right?
That's right.
So I'm gonna hand you a goodie bag. So let's look in there to see. That's donated by my subscribers. Let's look in there to see what's in there.
There is a blanket. There is some socks. There's some wipes. And there is some snacks.
So those are all things you can use, right?
Yes.
Okay, so David, thank you very much. We'll stay in contact. I'm gonna give you my contact information in case you ever need a ride to treatment or you want somebody to talk to.
Okay.
You're gonna call me, okay?
All right, sounds good.
Thank you, David. Stay safe.
Thank you.